Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are back on the Rabbit. I haven't messed with it in a while for many other reasons, customer stuff, had to get the race car going, but we're revisiting some stuff. We did polish up this intake manifold. I'll show a little clip of it, but yeah, this is nice and polished now. Looks way better than it did, but there are a couple issues with the car, things that I haven't liked that I wanted to change. The biggest thing is the air to water. I've tried and tried to make this thing air to air. There's no room up here. If this was a 4-cylinder, remember, when you look at a VR, the VR is leaned forward. Whereas if you had a 4-cylinder in here, the valve cover would be like back here. And you'd have all this room and you could make a radiator and a intercooler fit any way you want. But with a VR, it's very tight in here. So we have a big intercooler right here. And originally, my idea was I have so many parts laying around. Let's just use a aux water pump. So these are the ones that usually go, there goes some water. They usually go right here, and this is your after run pump. And I was like, that seems like a good idea. But every one I have is like slightly stuck. I don't know why, but it's like slightly stuck. You can whack on it and it'll open up and go. So anyway, I was getting a look at it and I said, how good are these? And I was looking around. These don't really move that much water. So the next bet was get something from it's like a Mustang or something like that. And it's basically a ginormous version of that one. Here's the part number right here. You guys can pause it if you need it, compared to what we were using. I mean, it's a night and day difference. But the biggest thing to note, this is just the motor. So it doesn't matter if it's up here, sideways, anyways, it does not matter. All it's doing, it's drawing water from right here, and here's the outlet. So it's sucking water in, spinning it right there, and shooting it out that way. I'm looking through here, I've taken everything out. Remember, I've already made a water reservoir tank. It's just junk now. That's what happens when you make these cars. You keep finding ways to improve and change. So here's my idea for this. So remember, this is the outlet, this is the suction. And right here on my Rabbit, you can see there's 2 holes from the factory. And what I'm going to do is make a bracket that sits in one of these holes, and maybe the other one I'll just have it as like a set pin so it doesn't move, or maybe I'll use them both as bolt holes. I don't know yet. A very simple concept where it's just going to be an L bracket. Think of it like this. So it's on the frame, it comes down, it hits this, and then you just do a hose clamp around here, a hose clamp around here, and that'll hopefully hold the torque. So it'll hold right in place. So right now, this is my concept. Is right here, and then this outlet hose is gonna go right back to the intercooler hose I already had. All I have to do is just add a splicer in and a hose extender, and that's that. So that's gonna be right there. So now, obviously, like I have to move my regulator and stuff like that. This was never a permanent position. I just had it there. This all, just ignore it. It's getting changed. It's just gotta get changed. Remember, I already put some rib nuts right here. So I'm going to make a box that kind of follows the line of the car. And then I'm just gonna have a 90 3/4 inch fitting right here. It's just gonna go hose, right to that. This will be the suction. This will be the reservoir. And then I'll have to put like a dash, whatever, I think it's a 16 AN. I'll have to put another one of those on the box to then complete the circuit. So how it'll be, box is here. We'll have a fill reservoir on top, and then you'll just fill it up. I'll make it as big as possible. This is where it'll live. And then it'll come down here, 90, right into here, hose to this other hose, and then that's gonna fill up the entire intercooler, comes back around, and then this is another -16 hose that just comes over. It goes to the intercooler, which is usually right here. Intercooler's gonna fill up, then this hose goes to the other side of the intercooler, that comes back, and that'll, wherever I can put the fitting, that's where it'll go. So it'll be nice and easy. There are a couple things that I might have to save off of here because I just have to. So I will be cleaning off all this paint. More than likely, I have to take that top off and I'll probably redo it, but I gotta clean all that off. Maybe that's 16, maybe that, but I might have some things just kicking around. So what I'm gonna show you is when I get to that point. I'll make the concept, get the idea, and then I'll show you the process of making it. There's no sense in showing you me going back and forth to the saw 25 times. So keep an eye out, and we'll try to get this done in one episode, and it'll be Mk1 air to water intercooler totally done. So here's the simple bracket I was just talking about. It's literally just a 90, 1 bolt hole, and 2 hose clamps holding it together. And then I put that rib nut in right there. It's just gonna go just like that. And then we'll just have a hose from there right to there. It'll be nice and complete. Plenty of room down here for, you know, engine mount movement. Plenty of room for this AN fitting up here. Everything's tight. I wish this was one piece, but you know, that's, oh well. Just got a splicer in there. Down to here, it's mounted in. It's nice and firm. It's perfect. Now what we have to do is build the reservoir to fit that. The idea of the air to water tank. So I still have to weld some little brackets on the side to have 2 mounting points for bolts. I got the cap in place. I always just, instead of opening this all the way up, I just drill some holes. That way it kind of keeps it from frothing up, especially if you're like filling it or trying to check out any issues. This is the hose that's going right to the water pump right there. And this is the other side of the intercooler. So this is the return, this is the feed. And you can see I have it kind of 90 down there just to get at the bottom. So it'll always be sucking up. So that's kind of how it's gonna be. It's as nice and simple and easy as it gets. Pretty happy with the welds. The GoPro never does good shots of welding, but they're all good. I will pressure test it and see if it leaks. But the next time you see this, it should be complete. Making a lot of progress. I'm basically out of gas. I'm right there. Right there you can see that I ran out of aluminum. So I'm using scraps to build this, but scraps still work. All we have to do now, I want to set the cap back on it. I got to take it back into the garage. I need to do a couple rib nuts, actually just 1 rib nut. And then I can build my mounting tabs. I think what I'm probably gonna do, yeah, that's how you can tell this is definitely a scrap piece. I had to fill that in. So there's I gotta make a bracket over here and over here to bolt it in, and then once that's all done, then we can put the cap on it and I can fill it up, pressure test it. I'm not even pressure test, I'm just gonna fill it with water. If it leaks, I'll mark the welds, weld it up, but I don't think it's gonna leak. No, I definitely got to drill that hole because I just forgot about it. So got to drill that one. That one's good. And then this is a lot of work. If you have a bender, this would be so much easier. You could literally take one piece, bend it here, and then get it up to here, and then just weld one section in like that. It'd be so much easier. This is a ton of welding. Just to do this one all the way around was 1 1/3 of a 3/32 rod. So this takes a while. This is why these types of things cost a lot of money. Don't buy cheap Amazon ones. Buy good quality stuff. So this is an exact fit. I'll be happy with it. It should be lasting forever. I'm very, very happy with these welds. And one thing I tried to do on this, if you're ever welding, it's really common for people just to take the rod and just keep nudging their hand in. What you're supposed to do is leave it between your fingers like this and take your thumb and push, 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 push. So this was the first time I really tried to dial that in, and it was definitely working, because I mean I was getting like probably like about 6 inches of weld, which is a lot. Especially for me, I'm still a novice. I'm self-taught, self-learning, so I just figured it out myself. And every time I do a welding job, I try to get a little bit better. That should be your goal every single time, is to do better than the last. So let's I'll grind this up and meet you guys over in the little garage Oh, also, there will be a video on this, or this will be after this video. You know, it's video inception, but this one's going on at the same time this is going on, so you'll see one of these videos. Here's that last little bracket. What I do for these is I just drill them out, and then I get rib nuts in place, and then I bolt them in place, and then I just set this down where they go, and then I just mark everything with a Sharpie, tack weld it, bring it in, check it. It's a process, but then you wind up with something that actually fits. So here's how it's gonna look. Let me just throw it on real quick, a couple bolts, and then we'll get finished up. It's all in place now, everything's tight. See, it's higher than the intercooler as well, and don't forget that that's all lower, so it'll be nice, it'll work. I don't want to put this hose on yet because it's real tight. So everything's in there now. Hose runs down, around, and that's the one that comes right here. That's all tight. This one's tight. This is the one that comes down, around, back to here. So I think we're gonna put the grill on, stuff like that tonight, and get it even further along. Since that's all we got done, now we're just going to finish the end of the video off by pulling off the bumper and putting the grill on, making it look like a Rabbit again. We're gonna fill this up, just keeping tabs on how much goes in there so we know. Theoretically, this should fill everything up and have no issues. Maybe we'll have to top it off later. All right, we'll see if we have any leaks here in a second. We almost got a gallon in there. It's holding a good amount, and there's no leaks. It's just hanging out the top. I imagine it'll bleed out a little bit more, but it's full. There's no leaks. So now we're just gonna throw on the grill and make it look like a car.
Oh no.
Major progress. This thing looks so good. I'm always a fan of no bumpers on a Mark 1. It just fits. Like this looks like a car. This looks like exactly what you'd want to be riding around slammed out on. This isn't obviously going to be slammed. This is probably the front end of it. It's probably going to be the most like aggressive part of the car. The rest of it is going to be like moderate ride height with some meaty tires and some other kind of wheels. We got to figure out some wheels. We got so much done this weekend. We got the new air to water intercooler tank done. This is totally done, and we also got that big dog Bosch Cobra water pump in here. We're gonna have no problems with cooling this car. That was a big thing. I was really worried about a lot of boost in this car, but now honestly, with how light this thing is, it's barely gonna be under any load. I have a ton in that reservoir. I think it's gonna make 800. That's in my head. That's what I got now. So the limiting factor right now is clutch. I just have a South Bend Stage 2 just in there because I had to take the clutch that was going in this, then went into my race car, then it broke, then I got another one for it, and then my twin disc broke. So then now this car gets robbed a lot. So yeah, we're just gonna be driving around on that other clutch and just putting it around. That's all we're gonna be doing with it. Not gonna be able to really get into anything when the time comes. Then we'll drop it out. We'll take the trans out, maybe go through it, maybe do some upgrades into that, and then do a nice clutch. I'm also really worried about the axles, but that's another story for another day. Air to water is in there. It does need to be cleaned up and shined up, but it's in there. It looks good. We have some other random stuff, like I have my brake booster line coming out. I have to get it over to the brake booster, and it's also going to go to the blow-off valve. And I also have to put a port off of the back of this pipe right here, and that's going to go to the wastegates. And the it's going to go to the boost controller. Boost controller is going to go to the wastegates. But this isn't that important right now because, like I just said, we don't even have a good clutch in here, so we can't really mess with anything yet. We'll just I just want to drive down the street and make sure it's safe, basically. Also, my wife went through the back and she did run all the wiring inside. Still have the external battery cable down there, but I want to wait until we take it over to the lift. So we're just probably gonna push this out. I'll drag it with the four-wheeler over to the garage and we'll put it on the lift. That way I can route this as cleanly as possible. Same with the fuel pump wiring. That's a big dog fuel pump. You need to make sure that wiring is in a safe spot. I need to go to the junkyard one day and get, I think I'm gonna get like a Mark 5 or a Mark 6 battery tray. We'll see how that'll work out. And then we'll put that in the trunk. But yeah, so it's that wiring in the trunk. It's a couple things up here, fixing some fuel lines, and these brake calipers. These things I bought as a remand, and they're just junk. They actually drilled the bleeders crooked. So this one hasn't leaked in a while, but that other one's just a constant drip, about a drip a week. And it's not a lot, but obviously it's an issue. So I did get some brand new Hella calipers. These are actually really affordable. Brand new, no core. These things cost me 60 bucks. So there they are, good to go. I don't know if I ever mentioned it before, but this is a hybrid setup. My knuckle, my coilover, my brakes, these are all from a Mark III 2.0. And then my control arm, I have it re-drilled so the Mark III ball joint can fit. It's actually pretty easy. The tie rods, I forget which tie rods I have. It might be Mark II ones because they're a little bit longer. But yeah, this is all different. We just gotta figure out a wheel that fits. If we can't find a wheel that fits, then we'll change this stuff. Yeah guys, if you can, give me a like, comment, and subscribe. We got a lot of big things coming up this year. Remember, we just started that all motor racing series. So I've been getting guys fired up for it. So come out to every race you can. Remember, it's gonna be JUNEBUG. That's coming up here soon. That's what I'm trying to drive this. I'm really trying to drive this JUNEBUG, but it's gonna be tough. So we got that JUNEBUG all motor race. We have the VW Nationals all motor race. And then we have the MIR ET series. So remember, check that video out. It'll give you all the details and rules and stuff like that. And then also, at the VW Nationals, we are being a sponsor there. I don't know if we're gonna have a booth or anything like that. It's one of those things where like it's cool. We really just wanted to be on a shirt. By me sponsoring it, Scott also took a lot of the money that I sponsored with and put it to the all motor race, and is helping out with another all motor race with us for payouts. So stop by. Like I said, I have stickers. Maybe I'll have some shirts there, but yeah, just stop by, say hi. This is so much progress on this. I did not think we would get this far this weekend. This tank just kicked my ass, but it's in there. It's exactly how I wanted it. It's perfect. Now we just gotta add some stuff to it. And the most important thing is we're getting garage space back. That table is gonna be empty soon. We had all the stuff over here, that's all gone, but man, just how good does that look? Mark 1s should not have bumpers.